How can I avoid Java code in JSP files using JSP2? Introduction. In early Java web applications, developers commonly wrote Java code directly inside JSP files using scriptlets, sketch languages, expressions. Example: f string name equals request.getParameter name %. Hello is name. This approach worked, but created major problems. Hard to maintain code. Save. Messy UI files. Poor separation of concerns. Difficult testing. Hard debugging. Modern JSP development, especially with JSP2, encourages avoiding Java code inside JP pages completely. Instead, JSP should focus mainly on presentation, rendering HTML, displaying data. Business logic should remain in servlets, controllers, services, Java classes. This topic explains what scriptlets are, why they are discouraged, how JSP2 improves development using EL, expression language, using JSTL, MVC best practices, modern JSP architecture. This is a foundational Java web development topic. What is Java code inside JSP? Traditional JSP allowed embedding Java directly. Scriptlet example: int x equals 10, out.println x %. Expression example: parentheses user.getName %. Declaration example: private int counter equals 0. These features made JSP pages behave like Java source files. Problems with Java code in JSP. Problem 1. Mixing UI and business logic. JSP should display data, but scriptlets mix HTML, Java, database logic, request processing. Example: connection con equals driver manager.getConnection. This creates, unreadable pages. Poor maintainability. Problem 2. Difficult to maintain. Large JSP files become messy. Example concept: HTML Java HTML loop more Java. Developers struggle to understand. Key page structure, key application flow. Problem 3. Harder team collaboration. Front-end developers may know: check HTML, check CSS, check JavaScript, but not Java. Mixing Java inside JSP makes UI work difficult. Problem 4. Poor reusability. Business logic inside JSP cannot be reused easily. Double tax equals price times 0.18. Better placed in service classes, utility methods. Problem 5. Harder testing. Testing Java logic inside JSP is difficult. Business logic should exist in click this, regular Java classes, click services, click controllers, where unit testing is easier. JSP2 recommendation. JSP2 strongly encourages expression language, EL, JSTL tags, MVC architecture, instead of Java scriptlets. Key idea: keep Java out of JSP pages whenever possible. What is expression language? EL. EL allows displaying data without Java code. Example: instead of user.getName, use $user. Cleaner and easier to read. EL automatically uses getters. Example: Java class. Public class user f. Private string name. Public string getName. Return name. JSPEL. $username. Internally calls user.getName. This follows Java Beans conventions. Passing data from servlet to JSP. Servlet example: user equals new user. User set name John. Request.set attribute user. Request.get request dispatcher /profile.jsp.forward request response. JSP example: Hello, $username. Output. Hello, John. No Java code needed in JSP. Using JSTL instead of Java loops. Old scriptlet loop, parentheses for user u users. pp u.getName, %. x, y, %. Messy and difficult to read. JSTL solution.
JSTL equals Java Server Pages Standard Tag Library.
JSP 2 style C for each var u items at users. $u name. Period. Cleaner and more maintainable. JSTL core tag library. Import JSTL. Append plus taglib prefix C URI http java.sun.com/JSP JSTL core. Common JSTL tags. Tag purpose, conditional logic, C if, C for each loops, C choose, switch style logic, C set variables, C out, output escaping. Conditional logic without Java code, old style, if, user * null. Welcome. SPP JSP 2 style, C if test is less than. Welcome. And C if, much cleaner. MVC architecture with JSP. Modern Java web applications use MVC. Model means view means controller. Component responsibility model. Business data logic, view. JSP UI rendering. Controller, servlet spring, request handling. JSP should act only as the view. Proper request flow. Example concept. Browser, down, servlet controller, down, service layer, database, controller sets attributes, JSP renders HTML. JSP should not access database, contain business logic, handle transactions. Bad JSP example, connection con equals driver manager.getConnection.test, statement st equals con.create statement. Very poor practice. Better architecture controller. List users equals user service.findAll. Request.set attribute users. JSP for each var u items /users. $name. CF for each. Much cleaner separation. Advantages of avoiding Java in JSP. Cleaner JSP files. Focus only on UI rendering. Better maintainability. HTML becomes easier to read. Easier testing. Business logic exists in testable Java classes. Better team collaboration. Front-end developers can work on JSP more easily. Better reusability. Business logic reused across APIs, JSP pages, services. Easier migration. Cleaner architecture helps migration to Spring MVC, Thymeleaf, React frontends, REST APIs. JSP2 technologies used expression language, EL. Example. User name, JSTL. Example. Custom tags. Reusable UI components. Example. My header. Helps reduce duplication. Common beginner mistakes. 1. Using scriptlets everywhere. Wrong. Business logic %. Avoid whenever possible. 2. Database access inside JSP. Very poor design. Database logic belongs in. Check DAO, repository, service layer. 3. Large JSP files. Too much logic makes pages unmaintainable. 4. Ignoring MVC. JSP should not behave like a controller. Best practices. Best practices include curly, use EL for displaying values. Curly, use JSTL for loops conditions. Curly, move logic to controller services. Curly, follow MVC architecture. Curly, keep JSP focused on presentation. Curly, avoid scriptlets entirely. Modern alternatives to JSP. Many modern applications now use Timeleaf, React, Angular, Vue, REST APIs. However, JSP is still important in legacy enterprise applications, Java EE projects, servlet-based systems. Understanding JSP best practices remains valuable. Simple definition scriptlet. Java code written directly inside a JSP page using Simple Definition Expression Language, EL. A simplified JSP syntax used to access and display data without Java code. Example: $name, simple definition, JSTL. A standard JSP tag library used for loops, conditions, formatting, and common UI logic. Final summary. Using Java code directly inside JSP files creates current, messy pages, poor maintainability, tight coupling, difficult testing. JSP2 encourages using Kirk EL, check JSTL, MVC architecture instead of scriptlets. Instead of in spaces, user.getName. Modern JSP uses key idea. JSP should focus on presentation, while Java business logic should remain in controllers and services. Once you separate logic from presentation, Java web applications become cleaner, easier to maintain, and far more scalable.